Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. I hope this webinar finds you all healthy and staying safe. My name is Molly, and I'm the Conference Director for TERP in South Africa. It is my great pleasure to host this webinar in which we have proudly partnered with OpenWay, in which we will be talking about digital wallets, what's next.
Hello to you all. Bear with me while I share my screen. Valentin, has that come through nice and clearly?
Yes, thank you, Kieran.
Wonderful, thank you. Also, thank you very much for that introduction and, of course, to OpenWay for inviting me to join this panel today. So in my session, I want to look at three things. The first is to provide some thoughts on the definition of digital wallets. The second theme will be to look at where the market is today, and then I want to finish by providing some perspectives on at least some of the factors that will continue to drive change in the digital wallets landscape. So, to begin, so what are digital wallets, or rather, where did this term come from? Now, one of the challenges in any discussion around digital wallets is definitions, and the term digital wallet is used to describe a growing array of quite different products and services, many of which have become considerably more sophisticated than the notion of anything that you may want to keep in an actual wallet or purse. Now, this is where the term originated from, of course, and that's really because the earliest propositions were effectively a digitized version of or a wrapper around something that you already had, like a payment card or a loyalty card. But that link is less and less tangible nowadays. And today, the way to consider a digital wallet, at least from the Celent perspective, is that it is a service designed to remove friction from digital payments or digital commerce journeys. To dig into this a little further, it makes sense to look at what tends to be the core functions of most digital wallets today. And there are, broadly speaking, three areas. Now, the first is, of course, payment services, which are often front and center to the offering, and security is clearly a very important element of any service that touches on payments, and we've seen a number of different innovations in that space, for example. The context for the wallets, or the form factor, is also important. As removing friction from many customer journeys does need more than a one-size-fits-all approach. And this is one area, again, where we've seen lots of innovation and change. When I talk about context, that refers to both the channel, which is most commonly mobile, but not always, and form factor as well. And wearables, I think, are a good example of some of the different approaches that are taken to wallets today. Non-financial services are also an important element of a lot of wallet propositions, particularly those run by merchants, with merchant-specific services such as advance ordering, ticketing, and loyalty, all very important use cases. So where are we right now? That's looking back, and where is today's market? And many of today's most successful wallet offerings bear only a passing resemblance to some of those early products, simply because the need for digital wallets has changed in line with the rapid shifts in customer expectations, merchant needs, and digital enabling technology. To put it another way, the fundamental concept of digital wallets hasn't really changed in that they exist and are successful where they make it easier. Or in the case of financial inclusion, possible for customers to transact in the digital ecosystem. So customer needs have changed, and wallets and wallet propositions have changed with that. Now, alongside these changes on the demand side of the equation, growing competition among wallet providers for engagements and footprints and customer activity has also been another important catalyst for the changes that we've seen over time to this concept of digital wallets. On the left of the slide is a view of the different core elements of the value propositions offered by many of today's wallet offerings. So contextual relevance is more or less table stakes now, so that's been removed from this view. but all the elements that were discussed on the previous slide remain an important feature of the market. It's also worth noting that each pillar has become much deeper, and financial inclusion has also become a very important area of activity. And worth noting that in addition to sort of deepening of the services available in each of the three areas I'm showing here, it's also worth noting that we see growing convergence between the pillars. So offerings, wallet providers are increasingly reaching across two, or in some cases all, of those different areas. So if we look at first at financial inclusion, there are a few things that are at play here. One, of course, is the growing reach of high-end feature phones and smartphones, which have supported the creation of multifunction wallets to address the challenges of financial inclusion in a growing number of different markets and situations. Telecoms-driven mobile money or mobile financial services initiatives have been important in this space for some time. I think this is an area that a number of financial institutions are, of course, looking to target as well. So at Celent, we have an annual awards program, and we've given awards to KBZ Bank in Myanmar and Banco del Estado for Chile, with Model Bank Awards in the last 2 years for their success in using digital wallet propositions to address the needs of underbanked consumers. Those are just two examples of many, and of course we'll be hearing about some more of those as we work through the webinar. Worth noting that this isn't just about consumers either, because supporting micro enterprises is also a very important element of the financial inclusion. Looking at the next area, so digital payments remains the starting point for many wallets, but we've seen expansion in the range of channels, form factors and transaction types included here. Moves into other areas by wallet providers into spaces such as lending, ticketing or loyalty services have also become quite common. I think we've also seen a number of wallet providers also look to expand their reach into areas such as person-to-person payments, and that's both at the domestic level but also cross-border. The final area here, of course, is those non-financial propositions, and ticketing, loyalty and other services are very common within the merchant space, and this touches increasingly on sort of event or context-specific wearable devices too, such as wristbands for use in theme parking and that sort of thing. So on the supply side of the space, I think there has been a growing desire to build customer engagement and making it easier for customers to transact with a range of different providers that has also increased the activity in the wallet space. And so there are a wide array of different types of organisation that offer wallet services today. Now this list is far from exhaustive, but there are wallet propositions today available from banks, payment providers, merchants across a range of different areas, big tech firms, telecoms companies, of course, as well as firms in transport and the health sector. And these are just a small number of examples, and the list is incredibly diverse. Now, in each case, these providers are all looking to meet their own, often differing business objectives, and to enhance their own value proposition through offering wallets. And I think this again explains why we see such a growth in variety of different wallet offerings and propositions available in today's market. So, to conclude, I just want to focus a little bit on some thoughts around what's next. The most important perspective, I think, is that the same forces driving change in today's market will continue to do so. So we should expect to see more new wallet offerings emerge, and those that exist today, I think, will become more feature-rich and support the next wave of change in banking and commerce. Alongside this, there are three further quite specific factors that I want to just quickly touch on. The first is a growing emphasis on an innovation around financial inclusion. The success of many current initiatives, alongside the reduction in cost or the ease with which wallet offerings enable providers of many types to serve customers using wallet offerings, we'll continue to see a growing focus on this area in the future. New payment infrastructures, I think, is also an important theme. Potentially a bit more from the advanced market perspective when it comes to sort of payments technology, but overlay services on top of real-time payments infrastructure will become increasingly important in capitalizing a new range of different wallet services. So examples from Europe include Swish in Sweden or MobilePay in Denmark that highlight the success that wallets built on top of real-time payment infrastructure in particular can bring. And of course, for wallet providers, real-time payments infrastructure can also potentially reduce operating costs, while the cost of funding, in effect, whilst also improving the value delivered to merchants. The final area I want to quickly touch on is what we see in terms of the impact of open banking and a shift in attitude toward partnerships on the part of banks. And so at Celent, most of our work is done with the banking ecosystem. And so we've seen over a number of years now a growing shift in attitude towards partnering with other organisations. And open banking is a piece of this. It's far from all of it. And we see a growing shift in emphasis when it comes to working with third parties, particularly where those third parties can provide access to a customer segment or help service a customer group that would perhaps be beyond the reach of the bank by itself. And I think increasingly that may also include a number of standalone wallet providers as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So thank you very much for listening. For anybody who would like to find out more about Celent, the information is there. With that, I will hand back to Valentin and look forward to the Q&A later on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kieran. It is very interesting and useful for us to set the scene and define what we can see as a wallet and what is the platform, what drives it, where is the supply and demand in different areas and different players. And I think the key importance of, let's put it this way, what do you put into the wallet? And to bring in some of the world perspective into this, we've also invited Marek, who is the chairman of the board and founder of SmartPay, one of the leading e-wallet companies in Vietnam. And SmartPay is one of the most interesting for me developers and financial institutions who design and build the ecosystem rather than, I would say, a wallet from scratch. And with that introduction, Marek, over to you.
Thank you, Valentin. And what I'll do is bring up my presentation. I trust you all have that on your screens now. Yes, Valentin?
Yes, Marek.
Okay, good. So again, thank you all. Thank you all for having me today present at this global webinar. First and foremost, I want to thank OpenWay for inviting me. As I think it's critical for me to identify, we've been working with OpenWay for a number of years. And when I look back on this journey with SmartPay that began a little bit more than 3 years ago, OpenWay has actually been with us from day one. So to me, it's critical to have a partner like OpenWay throughout this process. Money movement and the transformation in money movement has been ongoing now for a number of years. If we think about that, and if we think about where some of those largest opportunities and where some of the most successful demonstrations of that exist, you don't have to look much further than Asia and Southeast Asia in particular. Alipay as an example, 12, 14, 15 years ago, who would have thought that Alipay today, a digital wallet, for the lack of a better definition, would have a market capitalization almost equal to JP Morgan Chase, and a market capitalization and success achieved in such a short period of time. It is a testament to technology and how digital is really transforming everything. Look, Vietnam has lagged behind some of its peers in and around the region, but that lag has nothing to do with the lack of technology being adopted or accepted in the market. With over 70% of consumers in Vietnam using and accessing internet services, there are over 125 million mobile subscriptions in Vietnam. That's more than the total population in the country. The government has taken significant steps to aid in digitizing financial services in Vietnam. To date, over 39 wallets have been licensed to promote that. And steps now are starting to take hold. A lot of that may have been prompted by COVID, but not entirely. You'll see the country this year in the electronic wallet business processing over 1 billion individual payment transactions. Again, this clearly demonstrates the path and the battle for the payment space that is beginning now in Vietnam. You know, SmartNet's not new. SmartNet's been operating in Vietnam for a little bit more than 5 years. And we started as a traditional intermediation company for financial products and services. A traditional intermediary company which was largely dominated by physical direct sales agents that were selling loans, insurance, and other financial services products. The thinking behind SmartPay and SmartPay within SmartNet was all around how do we digitize intermediation? And digitizing intermediation is really thinking about both the buyers and the sellers and how buyers and sellers transact on a day-to-day basis. And how do we think about the experiences associated with buyers and sellers transacting digitally on a day-to-day basis. So that was really the nexus behind SmartNet applying for its own electronic wallet license, and its electronic wallet license manifesting itself into what SmartPay is today. Again, a purpose-built platform that allows for buyers and sellers to connect in a single application that's fully digitized from enrollment to ID verification. Not one piece of paper is exchanged as part of this process, regardless of whether you're a buyer or whether you're a seller. We then took the notion of digitizing real engagement on a 24/7 basis and using artificial intelligence, machine learning, so that then our account, the SmartPay wallet, is actually a smart wallet without any fees, without any transactional charges. We do believe that part of the success is largely predicated when we think about winning the game. The game is largely dependent on the merchant network. The sell side of the buy-sell equation. Culturally in Vietnam and many other countries around the world, micro merchant and street merchants and street vendors and household merchants underpin the fundamental retail economy. In Vietnam, there's over 5.2 million micro merchants that have been largely overlooked by many of the earlier electronic wallet companies that have come into the market. 60% of retail GDP is happening within this segment. This is obviously what is the primary focus for SmartPay. We put the micro merchant first. We deliver all of the relative and value-added services that allow for that micro merchant in the 4.0 era, for that micro merchant and that street vendor to be as successful as the most advanced e-commerce provider. Technology allows for the democratization of these types of processes. And this is why we purpose-built SmartPay from the ground up. We had to think about how do we deliver those products and services on a relevant basis, but how do we do it on a cost-effective basis to ensure the ability for our exchange to succeed and to sustain longer term. Longer term, largely driven by adding real value to the ecosystem. It has to be more than just a transaction. There has to be more than simply enabling, one person to send money to another person. Real value comes from a platform that's smarter. Smarter in the sense that understands the buyer-seller dynamics that go on a real-time basis. Real value comes from adding capital to the exchange. We're part of the VP Banking Group, one of, if not the single largest banking concern inside Vietnam. We add capital to this exchange, whether that's in the way of credit to the buyer who's looking to transact, or whether or not that's working capital to the merchant who is looking now to digitize his turnover and for us to be able to lend to that merchant, bring them into the financial ecosystem, and for them to provide capital that allows for their businesses to grow. Some of these features are very unique in the marketplaces. Things like Smart Card, where we have a theme ongoing, merchants go online. Again, how do we take an offline merchant and how do we take a traditional offline micro merchant and bring them into the online environment? Again, real value that allows for businesses to grow. Our traction to date has been impressive. We're only 18 months into this undertaking. We've had over 1.4 million downloads. We have over 300,000 micro merchants enrolled inside our network. We have over 600,000 acceptance points around the country. Our users are transacting now on a day-to-day basis. 12 months ago, we processed around 50,000 transactions. In October, we processed 2 million transactions with the goal to reach 5 million payment transactions processed by December. COVID-19 did not bypass Vietnam. There has been, and it's been publicized, the success that Vietnam, knock on wood, has had in managing COVID-19. But in the second quarter of this year, the market did go into lockdown. As a result of the lockdown, 25% of micro merchants and street vendors have closed their doors. We're doubling down on those merchants that have made it through that 3-month period of time to ensure that they have all of the opportunities to replace lost revenues. Vietnam will grow, be one of the only countries in Southeast Asia that grows from a GDP perspective, and we are forecasting by this time next year, Vietnam would have fully recovered, barring any second or third episodes of COVID-19 presenting themselves in the market. But again, our focus on the micro merchant, allowing for us to be able to support those organizations during what has been a very difficult period of time. Clearly, clearly any platform that's focused on one or more different segments needs to continue to develop and add value-added product, services, features into its platform. OpenWay's platform allows for us to do that, and we continuously look to build upon the core services that OpenWay allowed for us to offer, and now we look at introducing more advanced value-added services to our merchant network. Again, these are features and functions specifically designed for the merchant community, specifically designed for the reality of Vietnam. Think about Smart Ledger. 1 out of 3 merchants in Vietnam keep track and provide their customers credit for a 1-day, 7-day, 14-day, or 30-day period. They do that on pieces of paper. I'm going to take a yogurt today. I'm going to take a bottle of milk. And merchants habitually provide their community those types of facilities, and then a consumer pays that back within the 14 to 30-day period of time. We've automated that process through Smart Ledger. Again, real instances of how merchants do business on a day-to-day basis, and how do we put the technology in the hands of that merchant for them to be able to remain relevant and successful in the future. Again, we're Vietnamese. We are focused entirely on Vietnam. Our platform and our people are all Vietnamese. We are long-term. Our organization dates back to the beginnings in Vietnam. We are one of, again, the strongest financial concerns, and we remain committed to digital transformation and the micro merchant community in particular. With that, I thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Marek. And I think it's very good that on top of Kieran's definitions of what the wallet started with and became, and how the demand drives now what is being offered as a wallet, we see how the SmartPay offer evolves to become actually an ecosystem rather than just a small service or just an application. And the growth over the years from the very beginning to today is very impressive. And what I would also like to discuss today is a different region. And in my opinion, the region where the wallets actually originate from, and see how that is in a more mature market, how the different wallets are now behaving. And for this, we have invited Mbaye. He's an economist and financier with more than 20 years of experience in payment systems, in electronic payments, in national, regional, cross-border, working in digital transformation, banking, and also in the microfinancing. Papa, over to you.
Sorry, Papa, you're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Nice and clearly, yes.
Yes, sorry. So I was saying that thank you, Valentin, thank you, Terapin, thank you, OpenWay for inviting me in this webinar. I'm very passionate to participate in this webinar to share my presentation on digital wallets in Africa. So can you see me? Can you hear me well now?
Yes, everything's good, Papa.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Just to start. Okay. So I will be talking about mobile financial services for African users, because as you know, digital wallet is supposed to ease access to e-money and microcredit in Africa to develop and harmonize African digital economy. So my presentation will highlight, first of all, the Africa's mobile money in terms of statistic and facts, going through the different regions. I will focus on ECOWAS mobile environment, which is one of the most active regions in terms of mobile money. After presenting the ECOWAS environment, I will jump to the opportunities and the potential of digital wallet, and going through the three major digital wallet we have in Africa. And after that, I would like to share some case studies regarding the way that African people is using digital credit. Okay, so mobile money is undergoing rapid growth in Africa, driven by improved access to technology. Difficulties accessing traditional financial services, and an increase in contactless payment related to the new COVID-19 that you all know. And today, across Africa, we can say that digital wallet have become the norm. Okay, Sub-Saharan Africa is the greatest number of mobile money transactions of the world's total. And in a short period, mobile wallets in Africa have become the preferred choice to make a host of payments. Mostly provided by telecommunication companies and supported by a network of licensed agents, digital wallets allow registered users, African registered users, to deposit cash into a virtual wallet and use those funds for payments and purchases, including peer-to-peer payments. So today, if we review the financial environment, we realize that banking in Africa is faced by various challenges, like lack of financial education and infrastructure. And even today, some part of the continent are still developing their banking infrastructure. Okay, and to give you a global overview of the fact and shift in Africa, I will start to talk about the Africa's mobile money, how it is presenting today. Today, mobile money is now developing in each territory as entrepreneurs, fintechs, and telcos are bolstering the supply of solutions. And if we see the continent regarding the different regions, all of them have great growth rate, and we can say that today, 54% of worldwide growth of mobile money is in Africa. If you see the digits, you realize that 190 million active accounts we have today, more than 1 billion transactions in mobile money, and more than 15 billion total values of transaction. And all these digits are made by 200 million users in sub-Saharan Africa. And according to statistics, from a new report, the GSMA trade body, sub-Saharan Africa continues to outpace other regions when it comes to mobile money services. So as I highlighted previously, traditional banking is underdeveloped. Digital money allows, especially in remote areas, African people to access basic financial operations, for a basic mobile phone such as payment and transfer. To continue on this Africa's mobile money statistic and fact, we can say that with an adequately banked population and plenty of liquidity, for example, Southern Africa continues to show little interest in mobile transfer and payment services. but the sub-region has just 3 million active users versus 100 million in East Africa, 56 million in West Africa, and 20 million in Central Africa. We can also realize that Central Africa has been working hard to catch up with the region, holding the status of the most dynamic on the continent since 2017. But also in West Africa, especially in Wame, in UOMOA, the Central Bank of Western Africa is more a driver behind the development of these digital financial services through incentive decisions taken on last April 2nd to facilitate digital money transfer, like free electronic money transfer between individuals, free household bill payments under a certain amount, and eliminations of fees charged by service providers. And let's focus on ECOWAS, because ECOWAS has been highlighted as one of the most relevant regions for the development of mobile money. Why? Because we have many trends that give us this event. So 3G and 4G are picking up. Okay, the number of users are increasing, and by 2020 we should have 250 million users with 185 mobile internet users, which is 40% of the populations. All indicators show that current trends are really supporting the development of a wide digital economy in ECOWAS. What are the main opportunities? The main opportunities I highlighted previously, the existing banking system has failed because we have an absence of a banking system for individuals, which constitute a virgin territory for the emergence of electronic money. Access to the financial services also is limitless. And regarding the acceptance, mobile currency is recognized as a tool to improve individual income, but we have a real issue on accepting mobile money in the region. Also, the growing of mobile usage. All available figures show that the preponderance of mobile in the everyday life of Africans still be, but the problem we have is the fact that today we have a young populations. We have a great rate penetration internet rate, and also in terms of mobile equipment, we can say that at least one African holds 2 mobiles. So these are key factors that show us that mobile money has a good let's say feature in Africa. And in terms of potential, the main services around the mobile money are mostly the cash transfers. And as you know, most of the African people are from the diaspora out of the continent, and they used to send money for their families in their countries. So mobile money is the key tool today to do cross-border transfer from wallet to wallet, from wallet to account, and from wallet to cash. Okay. Also the commerce, because the businesses can collect payment from customers, make stock purchases, and pay salaries to employees. So all those opportunities around the commerce make the money, the digital wallet as one of the key tools. In the administration also, all the governments in Africa are in the mood of digitalizing their services. And I can highlight the fact that the Estonian government, which is one of the highest digitalized administration, is being used by African government as a good reference to digitalize their administration. And as I mentioned before, the banking system, I highlight that the traditional banking system was failing, and then today they are working with fintechs, with operators through collaboration model to bridge on the ecosystems. So, mobile money has become, as I state through the different statistics and fact, the big business for telecommunication providers in Africa, because these telecommunication providers are the leader of mobile money in Africa. Okay, and approximately 144 mobile money providers operates in sub-Saharan Africa with three main companies that you all know: M-Pesa, Momo from MTN, and Orange Money accounting for a significant share of the market. So, going through M-Pesa, we know that for the last 10 years, M-Pesa has created a blueprint for the international development of mobile money services. Today, M-Pesa is widely used in Nairobi and around, and it's managed by Vodafone and Safaricom telecom operators, and operating in 7 countries. And this product has seen significant growth in the recent years. The service attracted an additional 12 million users from 2017 to 2020, reaching more than 40 million users by 2020. Okay, the service has been loaded for giving millions of people access to the formal system and for reducing crime in otherwise largely cash-based societies. Momo from South Africa, launched by MTN, is in partnership with Ubank, and this Momo is available to all South African citizens regardless of the network they are using. And like in Pesa, Momo has enjoyed similar growth, reaching more than 35 million active customers in March 2020. And those customers use Momo to make and receive mobile money payments. Okay, and these products add more than 12 million active customers from just March 2018 to March 2020. Orange has been launched in 2018, and today we are seeing consistent development of this product in sub-Saharan Africa. 12 years on since its launch, Orange Money continues to record exponential growth. Okay, the service is now available in 18 countries with 45 million customers, which trust this solution, and the amount of transaction carried out through Orange Money reached 2.6 billion euros in 2019. And the ambition of Orange is to make Orange Money as an essential means of payments and to become a leading player in mobile financial services in Africa and in the Middle East. So let me now present a few case studies that I want to share with you, just because this is the way that African is living and behaving. But because of digital and because of the event of digital wallets, we are now able to process all those needs through wallets. So today we have global credit constraints with traditional banking system. We have a lack of structured banking system that wants 99% of the population to access minimum loans. And even if the system is in place, the cost of processing, for example, a 10,000 loan, which is at least 15 euros, credit would be prohibitive. And also we have a lack of data, which means that we are not able to do credit rating, which is a fundamental of loan assessment. So today, it's become a big constraint for Africans to get credit from the traditional banking system. But I want to highlight this case from Fatou. Fatou is a woman with no education and no resource. Fatou lives in total poverty but holds a digital wallet. You know that even they are in total poverty, or they don't have education, they know how to use wallets or how to use their phone. So Fatou holds a digital wallet and knows very well how to use this wallet. She used also to transact regularly with her wallet and has been scored by the platform. So with this tool, Fatou is able now to develop her business. Well, for example, at 9 o'clock, Fatou borrows $14 from the digital wallet platforms. Okay, she gets the 14 wallets to buy fish. Okay, and in 3 hours, Fatou will sell this fish and now get paid through the digital wallet. So now Fatou use this return, this business revenue to pay back the borrowers with an interest rate of 25% in 3 hours. And even with this interest rate, she still make a profit. So this is to show to our attendees, to our participants, that today with the digital wallet we are able to process the needs of our users in a very effective way. And after 3 weeks, Fatou no longer need to borrow from the borrower and is self-sufficient. So now she's lending money to other women, and all of this through the digital wallet. Another case is Hassan. Hassan needs to build a canoe, but Hassan does not have money. So what Hassan did through the wallet is Hassan create a community of people that from which he collects $27 from each of them. Okay, from the platform, build a canoe with a tree from the adjoining forest. Okay, and now use the canoe to go to fish. And now all profit from successive fishing expedition are successfully reinvested in the business. And through this process, Hassan continue to do this business and pays back his investment through his wallet, and is now running and financing a fleet of fishing canoes. So this is an example also of needs that has been eased by the use of digital wallet. And just to close my presentation, I would like to highlight the problem we have also on the distribution, because in money transfer, the distance to travel and the absence of a developed traditional banking network constitute a daily issue. Just to give you one example, Kwame wants to transfer physical money, cash to Salif, but Kwame must find a point where he will deposit the physical money and have it digitalized so that it can be transferred to Salif. But Salif needs to make the journey to its collection points. Okay? But the problem for Salif is Salif does not have a bank account and therefore a branch to go. In traditional physical network connection point, the distance to the connection is frequently overwhelming and too expensive. So simply transferring 1,000 CFA to a relative can be consuming and costly. So how did we solve this issue? Today, Kwame locates the nearest Illimix representative. He walks to his place and brings the cash. The representative wires the money to the nearest representative from Salif, and Salif walks to the place now to collect this cash. So this is also an issue because it remains cash. But from these operations, we realize that today all the representative needs a mobile phone and a minimum of cash in hand available to handle the transaction. And because it can collect a commission in the transaction, and also they can operate from home, getting to this client to just get geolocalized and then make the transaction from a home-based agent. Because today most of our agents are exclusive and it's not and they are not close to the population. And this is why we need to organize also the distribution. So thank you very much for your attention. I was very pleased to give you my insight on these subjects. I am at your disposal for any question you may have on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mbaye. That was a very interesting other side of the discussion we heard from Marek about the supply, about the merchants going into the markets in Vietnam, and you gave a very good set of examples of digital inclusion and how the demand is growing also with the people for the need of new financial services, and how the e-money and mobile money and wallets are allowing the digital inclusion. Thanks for all the questions, by the way, that are coming in. We will try to pick up some of them and answer them in the Q&A session. Feel free to drop out more. We spoke about the definitions. What are the wallets, how they started to develop. We spoke about Asia and the merchant space. We spoke about Africa. I would say that another aspect that is important is also the technology and the platform side of it. And for this, I'd like to invite Maria Vinogradova as one of the first authors and ambassadors of white label digital wallets from OpenWay. Having passed away from product management, business analytics, she joined the business development team here at OpenWay, providing the global platform for digital payments. Maria, over to you.
Thank you, Valentin. So thank you so much, our today's speakers. It was very interesting to learn about SmartPay experience, about the vision of Kieran on digital wallets, and about the vision of Mr. Dièye on how the digital wallet market goes on in Africa. But today, let me share some secrets, some technological secrets on how our customers of OpenWay, make their digital wallets successful. So, Valentin, can you see my screen?
Yes, everything's perfect.
Yep. Great, thanks a lot. So, over than 10 years ago, when we first created one of the first in the world digital wallet solution, the question that raised was why our customers or customers of our customers would choose wallets but not cards. Some years passed, and now we have a different question. In some countries, we see that there is a lack of wallet infrastructure, lack of card infrastructure. But in some other countries, we see that there is a huge competition between wallets. And let's look at the revenue growth of wallets like Alipay and others. And this is one of the examples on the screen that you can see. You can see that the transaction volumes are growing very fast. And it's a question for all of us, how the new wallet solution can be successful when we launch it on the market. So let's look inside the wallet. Simply, it looks that a wallet is just a consumer who can send money, and the merchant wallet who can accept the money. And why they'd like to use the wallet, for example, the card infrastructure is not available, or it's very expensive, or it's simply more useful to use QR codes or USSD to make payments. But in reality, the problem that we have now is that most of the wallets, they created this way. And when the customer needs to choose which wallet is better, it's usually, as we see, it's not about this schema. It's not about the typical payment option. It's about something else. And for me, it looks usually, when we select, as usual, normal people, when we select a financial partner, like a wallet provider, we select it as a partner, like a normal partner in our life. And what is important here? So how to make the customer love your wallet, make it a vital part of their lives, how to make it a preferred payment method for them. So first, what we found with our customers, such as SmartPay, but others as well, is that it's very important to understand who the customer is. And it's very important to support this understanding by the technology. So first, let's look at the customer who can pay or send money. Usually, it's not just an individual. It could be a family, it could be a group of friends. For example, if you work in Germany, but your family lives in Kenya, of course, you're very interested. It's crucial for you to to be able to send money to your family if you earn a lot of money and your family needs your help. The same with friends. We go to restaurants, to bars normally, maybe not during the pandemic time, but in our normal life. And we split our bills. We help our friends. And it's also crucial for us to be able to do this kind of money spending very simply in the wallet. The same for enterprises. Your customer can be a company, and usually it's not just one account. It could be a hierarchy where you have departments, you have groups of people, you have employees. And for the enterprise, it's very important to control all the spendings, to be able to help all the people in the company to pay easy and safely. And the same for merchants. So even if your merchant is a street merchant, he or she can have several locations across the city. And it's crucial for the business to be able to accept money across all the locations, but also to see the whole picture, how the business goes on online. So it was about understanding the customer, and our platform, for example, will help our customers to supporting all this hierarchy. So the second point is about how we share experiences with customers. So with our partners in our life, to support our love to our partners, our relationship, it's usually important to share some experience. So if we like biking, jogging, going to cinemas, it's very important to do it together. And if we look at wallets, such as Alipay again, we can see that the situation is the same. So let's look at the schema. You see there in green, you can see how the digital payment and merchant services are growing. But in the gray part, you can see other services. They are growing even better than our typical payments and money send. So what is in this revenue growth? So first, what we can see for our customers, what they do usually in our platform. They don't consider the wallet as just an account or money sending or just a payment instrument. You can offer your customer a lot of different payment instruments within the same wallet. So it could be a prepaid wallet, prepaid account, or prepaid card. Could be a credit, could be deposit, could be digital currency, tokens, rewards, anything that is related to customer dreams about how the customer would like to make shopping, or spendings, or savings, etc. And if we look at Alipay's revenue structure, indeed, except of digital payments and merchant services, you have, for example, credit growing, investment services growing, insurance growing, and other innovative services. You don't need to do all these payment instruments and services yourself. So as Kieran mentioned, the partnership business is growing, and the same for our platform. So what you can simply do is to connect two partners to your wallet. It could be partners like banks who can help you with providing loans to your customers. Could be transport companies, could be bike rental companies, car sharing companies, insurances, travel companies, and anything you need. And what could be also important is that since you have a lot of data in our platform, you can make this kind of services more relevant for your customers. For example, during the shopping experience, you can find online that your customer is going to buy something expensive, like, for example, an expensive bike. And so online, you can suggest, the system can suggest the customer to apply for an installment loan. Or at the same time, you can offer some products related to this bike, for example, sport clothes, etc., etc. This way, you can help your customers, so the experience will be much better than usual. You can help your partners, they will earn more, and of course, you will earn more as well. Also, so we spoke about the understanding the customer and how we can suggest more experience to our customers, like partners, merchants, and people who spend money. But also it's very important, like in any relationship, to understand that our wallet customer and our wallet environment, it's not just a pure wallet element. So of course we need to support wallet elements on the platform. But one day, especially during our days, it's very important. You want to connect e-commerce retailers to the platform. and it is possible with our technology. Another day, you of course recognize that in the country there are still a lot of classical food terminals, banks as partners, cards, plastic cards, and we also like to suggest it to your customer. Also, you could be interested to make your wallet not just suggested, not just like a local payment instrument, but as a global one, so that your wallet will be can be accepted all over the world, so that using the same platform you can connect to Visa, MasterCard, UnionPay, Alipay, and other payment schemes and local wallets as well. And in case of our customers, and like Marek mentioned, it's also very important. Since we use the latest technologies, it's also possible to make all the payments instantly and even the settlement, clearing and settlement with your merchants instantly. But of course, you can understand that in case when the merchant shouldn't wait 1, 2, 3 days until the settlement and merchant payments will be done, it's much more beneficial for the merchant, and merchant can sell more. So you really help the business of the merchant. So as we mentioned, the wallet can be a cross-border instrument. And in our case, it's not just about connecting to Visa, MasterCard or doing some interbank projects, but it's also about multi-currency services. So what could be useful for your customer? What could be beneficial for your revenue? It's about multi-currency accounts and cards. It's also about multi-currency merchant pricing services, dynamic currency conversion, and so on. Speaking about the platform itself, it's extremely powerful. That's why you can create your own wallet in a different way, in the way that you want to do it. So in the platform, you can utilize the elements of wallets, issuing, card issuing, merchant acquiring, loyalty. You can organize the business automation. So all the workflows can be automated as much as possible. You can connect to different channels, starting from pure wallet channels to POS management, e-commerce, like we mentioned, and others. You can organize interfaces with your partners, with payment schemes, etc. And of course, you can control and make your platform efficient with stuff like housekeeping, product modeling, scheduling your procedures, etc. What is important, since we speak about wallets that can be national, cross-border, that can be huge businesses, so the platform is very secure. We get certificate for PADSS, we are GDPR compliant. Our customer goes to 3D secure certification, and they can use integrated fraud prevention engines. We are, as OpenWay, together with our customers, we recognize as best cloud providers of digital payment services. So all our solutions can be implemented in the cloud, and our customers benefit of them during the pandemic a lot, because the whole project can be done remotely, including the data migration, even if you have a huge portfolio of customers, accounts, and so on. And what is important also, some of our customers are huge businesses with millions of customers like SmartPay, but some others, they start from scratch, they have just several transactions per second, but then they grow very quickly. And in our case, in case of our platform, you shouldn't worry about how to support this business growth, because the platform is already proven for the volumes comparable with those of payment schemes. Thank you so much. If you're interested in these solutions, in any kind of other digital payment solutions in our platforms, please come to us. Please go to our website. We have a lot of stories. We have a lot of cases from our customers. We would be happy to discuss it with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I think we've touched the principal aspects that make the digital wallets now, starting from the base of what it is, how it is driven, how it has developed. We've seen the supply side with the services given by the merchants. We've seen demands that comes from all the populations that needs access to money, access to capital, and the underbanked population in Africa, for example. And thanks to Maria, we also have an overview of the technology. we are now entering into the Q&A session, so feel free to raise additional questions in our chats. And I will start with probably the first question that puzzles me. Kieran, from your experience, you've seen different types of wallets here and there in different regions, and you've given awards to some of the best examples. But what's the most unusual wallet you have seen recently?
Unusual? That's a good question. I suppose the nature of wallets are that they always sort of or increasingly focus on a very specific and narrow use case. And I suppose some of the more interesting ones, I remember a year or so ago I saw a dedicated wearable wristband for the Melbourne Oktoberfest, the beer festival that they were in Germany. So there's a niche example for you. I think what's more interesting, I suppose, is the diversity now we see in the range of different wallet offerings available. And one of the things that interests me quite a bit are some of the things we see around wearables and what may happen there. Because when these things were first reached the market, they always seemed very unnecessary, if you like. But now we live in a world where people are happy to tap a smartphone on a ticket barrier or a point of sale terminal, so why not a ring or a wristband or something else? And that's one of the areas that I see. It doesn't quite answer your question, I'm afraid. So those are some of the examples of more interesting offerings that I've been seeing at the moment.
Thank you, Kieran. Another question from the audience, Marek. Just maybe a few words about the ecosystem that SmartPay has. Your Vietnamese are extremely entrepreneurial, and can you share a bit more details about how are the different services coming to the platform? How do they form the ecosystem? Who is offering the products?
Sure, to the first point that you made, yes, Vietnamese are extremely entrepreneurial. And it's amazing on a day-to-day basis, and I'm sure in many other emerging markets, the dynamics are very similar, where individuals have full-time jobs, but they also, have their own part-time businesses. And SmartPay is a platform that allows for those entrepreneurs to make their products and services available. They make those products and services available through the Smart Cart program. And then that exposes their products to over 4.5 million consumers on our platform, all of which have purchasing power. And that purchasing power comes from various capital financing that we make available, from the smallest credit facilities of, 1 million Vietnamese dong. So $1 million Vietnamese dong, for some of you, that's around $40 that we make available, these micro loans through our platform, to, traditional buy now, pay later programs in our platform, to also interfacing with other product providers for personal unsecured cash loans, credit cards, etc. The importance of our ecosystem is the fact that we focus on the engagement. We focus on putting technology in the hands of the consumers, whether it's a merchant or whether it's an individual. But we're not the product owner. So we don't manufacture any products. There are banks, plenty of banks, and other consumer finance companies that manufacture loans. We look to embed those products, those financial products, as part of our platform. We manage the experience and understand through behavior coming from payment-related transactions when that product is suitable for a customer. And those products cut across all financial services, whether it's a loan product, whether it's a savings product, whether it's a CASA product, whether it's an insurance product. We make all of those products available through our platform, and again, focus much more on the experience associated with how those products are consumed by the individual.
Thank you, Marek. We have another question from our audience to Mbaye. You were speaking a lot about the different mobile money wallets, and there is a difference in how these different services operate. And the region has one of the most developed ecosystems and diverse set of offerings. From your perspective, how are these different wallets will work together? How will they coexist in the future and probably integrate or develop? What do you think?
You are on mute now.
Sorry. Thank you, Valentin, for this interesting question. So our ecosystem shows that we have several silos. So all the wallets, mobile money, are working in silos in Western Africa. You have wallets led by mobile network operators, wallet led by banks, and wallet led by microfinance. So they don't communicate themselves. But the central bank has launched a very ambitious project to set up an interoperability within the regions. This is mainly to create the bridge between the different ecosystems. So between MNOs, payment service providers, government services, digital government services, banks, microfinance, and others. So it will increase the use of digital financial services within the region, but with clear rules in terms of settlement and clearing, in terms of settlements and clearing. And what is expected from these interoperability projects, for which OpenWay is bidding, I can state that. What is expecting is to get more volume in terms of digital financial services, to get more users around the platforms. And today, as I stated previously, the traditional banking system has failed. So we expect from this interoperability platform to bank the unbanked. Okay, so to allow them to get at least a tool that will allow them to make their daily transactions everywhere in the regions and within the 8 countries of UEMOA, which have the same language and the same financial policy through the central bank. Thank you.
Thanks, Marek. A couple of other questions to you, Marek, from the audience. You were showing us a very impressive growth of, let's say, 18 months from launch to get so many users. What kind of approach for marketing did you take? What was your strategy in this respect? And can you name a couple of problems or pitfalls you face when building such an ecosystem with SmartPay?
Sure. Obviously, our growth is really a derivative of the fact that that we have been in the distribution business of financial products and services for a number of years. So one of the unique advantages that we've had from day one is the fact that we've got over 2,500 direct sales agents around the country. So as you think about the delivery of advanced financial services and delivering advanced financial services by way of a platform like SmartPay, to what has been typically defined as an underbanked audience, we've been successful in what amounts to be a hybrid model, whereby our DSAs assist the customers, and in particular the merchants, to go through that enrollment process, to then seed them with those initial transactions. You deliver a mobile application onto a smartphone for a micro merchant, and then explain or walk that merchant through the fact that now they have both a static and a dynamic QR code, and then walk away. 99 out of 100 of those micro merchants will never have any clue how to use what you just explained to them. So at the end of the day, our direct sales force have been instrumental in not just the enrollment, but also the farming related activities that we call it, to ensure that that the ecosystem actually functions the way it was intended, to function. Pitfalls are obvious. As we look to maximize enrollment, maximize the efficiency of enrollment, maximize distribution of our technology to consumers, they could easily be abused. I looked at my last 7 days of downloads in Vietnam, and I have 275,000 downloads, out of which our technology declined about 94% of those. So again, you have to be prepared for, bad actors to try to take advantage of good programs that are out there. And typically, and we know this from so many other industries, why do lenders have to charge, triple-digit interest rates? Well, it's because, there are bad actors out there that steal money. So the good customers, unfortunately, are those that are, you'll pay the highest price for bad actors. In our business with the electronic wallet, we move money. We're a custodian of people's money. We provide certainty that the money with us stays with us, and that that money is not at risk. But as everyone knows, I'm sure on this phone or on this call, on this video, you have to be very prudent, and you have to be resolute in how you approach, protecting, the assets, of your customers. Those are the pitfalls that are out there. Thinking about those up front are critical, and we've taken our bumps and bruises. So it's not as if this isn't a learning process. And again, just needing to ensure that you put the control routines in place, have the circuit breakers in there that said, okay, I got 1,000 of these bad actors, break the circuit and stop letting them come in.
Thank you, Marek. Another question for you, Mbaye. We were speaking about different approaches to how, let's say, mobile money and digital wallets develop. But do you think what is the reason for the problems of adoption of e-wallets in so many countries in Africa compared to the mobile money, for example? What can be suggested for the players to help it overcome it?
Okay, so in most areas we have a lack of internet connection. Okay, but with the development of the USSD technology, we are going over these issues. But today, when we look at the development of the mobile money in general through wallets, we realize that the mobile network operators has done a lot in moving this trend. How? Just by as they know their customer base and they know how to segment them, they are used to deal with such people, because as you know, even if you are undereducated, because I saw one of the questions here in the audience that, for example, somebody is saying that so many uneducated users, especially women who leave school earlier, so all these can be challenges, but we realize that they know how to use their phone. They know how to use their wallet. Maybe the only issues we can have is if they can read messages from the operators, or if, for example, it is in French, if they don't speak French, for example, or if they don't speak another language, they might not. But most of these mobile wallet, they add also the local language audio. So you can be guided by the local language audio in the application that will help you to use your wallet in a very convenient way, simple to use and without any failure. But in general, if we look at the ecosystem, we can say that due to the high level of commission, because the transaction are not free, the level is a little bit high in terms of cashing out, in terms of transfer and others. So people is wondering if it is possible that, for example, the central bank make an harmonized pricing that can help to develop this wallet. But as I said also previously, this interoperable platform that the central bank is building will help to democratize the use of digital wallet to diverse ecosystem, because governments also are coming up to these digitalizations. So we hope that in the next 10 coming years, we will be in a very good manner to to develop the use of digital wallets in these regions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mbaye. Thanks for all the questions from the audience, and I'll be taking the last one. Maria, that will be one for you. In this challenging time, and the COVID-19 pandemic, how do you see the requirements and business demands for the wallets changing before and after what is happening right now?
Thank you, Valentin. I think that what we can see now that before COVID, before this pandemic, we had different type of requests. Since we are a software provider for solutions for cards issuing, merchant acquiring, but wallets as well, we did have like separate requests. Some customers, they were requesting for card issuing, merchant acquiring solutions, some others for wallets. But now what we see, it looks like the time is going faster. And customers started, new companies, but also our current customers, they asking for some kind of combined solution, because they see that sometimes it's not possible to offer a good digital payment service without some wallet element. That's why it's now what we see usually is like a bank is asking for a interesting card solution with some wallet functionality, or an acquirer asking for some more classical, like dynamic pricing stuff, but also with some wallet functionality as well. I think that pandemic is not a good time for us, but it's also helping the technology to be adaptable and going faster than normal.
Thank you, Maria. And thanks everyone for posing the questions. Thanks to our speakers, Kieran, Marek, Mbaye, and Maria. We went today through the definition, or the way we understand the words right now. What is where they originate, how they build up, what are the different types of them, and what kind of different services that can be offered, and what are the different types of consumers or expectations that the market has about the digital wallet service, as well as covering the technical aspect, the integrations, and the ecosystem, the technical ecosystem that is necessary for the development of a successful wallet. Thanks everyone who joined us today. Thanks for all your questions, and welcome to our next webinars. And thanks to Terrapin to organize this. Molly, over to you.
Thank you, Valentin, Maria, Kieran, Papa, and Marek, wherever I think his camera is off. On behalf of Seamless and the Terrapin team, I would like to thank all 5 of you for your time. It has been very insightful. I see we still have questions pouring in. With those questions, I will send them over to you, Maria, Valentin, and Julia. But apart from that, I hope you guys have a good day. evening, morning, wherever you are, and just stay safe. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.